Hi all. In the agenda for this session is we will learn what is PostgreSQL, why we choose PostgreSQL, and who will support PostgreSQL. So PostgreSQL, first let's go with what is PostgreSQL. So PostgreSQL is a open object relational database management system software, which is one of the flavors of database software. So first we'll see what is a database. Database is nothing but it's a storage space or a device which we use to manage or maintain some organized data. So what is meant by organized data? Organized data in the sense which is in a proper format or which gives some meaningful information, that is called as organized or summarized data. So again, there are two types of data. With their summarized data as well as uh, uh, raw data. The raw data in the sense the data which is not in a proper format or which is not aligned in some meaningful information, that is raw data. The organized data or processed data is called as summarized data. So now coming to why PostgreSQL is very popular. We have many softwares in the market which are MS SQL, Microsoft SQL, or MongoDB, eh, so MongoDB, MySQL. There are different types of softwares in the market, which are PostgreSQL, Teradata, DB2, MariaDB, and Oracle, Cassandra, uh, Greenplum, etc. There are much more different types of database flavors. So let's see why the PostgreSQL is very popular in these days in the market. So when an organization or company chooses the database flavor, which database they want to use, they have some certain requirements, which will be which are as below. The first one is database software licensing. Cost should be cheaper or free, and it should provide security. The next is high availability. It should also support it should support RDBMS concepts. Also, it should support OLTP and OLAP transactions. OLAP and OLTP transactions. Also, it should provide disaster recovery feature. It should provide disaster DR or disaster recovery a feature. Also, it should support point in time recovery scenarios. Point in time Point in time recovery scenarios in case of any business loss. So these are all the different types of requirements the company will be choosing, and also the software should have some support. Suppose in case of any product defects or any issues with the product, there should be someone who will be providing support to the database issues. When considering all these factors or things, requirements, PostgreSQL is a database software which is an open source software which is free. So it doesn't require any license to use. It is an open source software, and also it provides all these features which are listed here. Like it doesn't require any license cost. So the first requirement is satisfied, and also it will provide security. It also support high availability. It is a RDBM. It also supports RDBMS concepts. It also supports OLTP and OLAP transactions. Also, it supports a DR, disaster recovery feature. Also, it supports point in time recovery scenarios. And also, when coming to the support, we have a doubt, right? It is an open source software, and we have multiple. It is an open source, so we can use whatever, however we can. But who is going to provide support, and how we are going to get the support for this database? So in market, there are different types of different companies who are taking this open source software and providing the support for this PostgreSQL uh, database software. The few of the companies are Open, SCG, and second quadrant. This Open SCG is also called as now AWS. This is EDB. Then again, Fujitsu. Then again, we have Cybertech. Then again, we have server lines. Then again, we have MIGOps. We have other DB ops. Then again, we have PG experts. Again, we have DBI. So there are other companies also who are providing support for this PostgreSQL software. So in case of any issues, these are the companies which are ready to provide support for this database software. But there is an open source community team who is going to develop this open source software and enhance the features of this open source software. So that team we call as open source community team. So what they are going to do is they are going to PostgreSQL community team. What they are going to do is they are going to improve the product. So such as like for every version they are going to add new features, and they are going to release the features that PostgreSQL software into the market. So whenever they are going to release this product into the market, they have made an agreement with a company called EDB. Company. There is an agreement between EDB and PostgreSQL community team. So whenever there is a change in the enhancements in the PostgreSQL software, they're going to the PostgreSQL community team is going to uh, uh, do the all the code changes, and they will be hand over that tool to that software to EDB team. So what EDB team does is they will develop some graphical tools. So as per the agreement between the community tool and this EDB organization, once the PostgreSQL team, community team builds the or change updates the code, open source code, then PostgreSQL community team is responsible for enhancing the PostgreSQL software features with new versions. Once the PostgreSQL command team adds new features to the PostgreSQL software and release with a new version, then EDB team will be developing, building the graphical tools, build some graphical tools using Java framework. So whenever there are some tools which are to make it user friendly, the UDB team will be building some graphical tools using Java frame, which will be like user friendly to the users who are using the PostgreSQL software. Some of the tools which are developed by this team are EFM, that is Enterprise Failover Manager. The next one is the other tool is PEM, which we call as PEM, which is PEM. This is called PostgreSQL Enterprise Manager. Yeah. Next is EDB BART, which is, this is EDB BART. This is nothing but it's a backup and recovery tool. So these are the few of the tools which are developed by a, this EDB team. So this is the introduction of PostgreSQL database software. So what is PostgreSQL and what are the different types of flavors available in the market, and why we use PostgreSQL software, and why we choose PostgreSQL software, and also the support for PostgreSQL software. So yeah, this is how. So now coming to the architecture. For any database administrator, before going to the data, before working on the or putting hands on the uh, database admin databases activities, the minimum requirement is to know the architecture. Architecture is nothing but to know how the database is going to work internally. So when a query is executed, what happens internally? And this PostgreSQL is a Linux based on, or developed based on Linux operating system, command line operating system architecture. So most of the organizations which are going to use PostgreSQL database, they will be using Linux operating system. So in Linux operating system, it works on command line operating system, which works on memory and resources, CPU compute resources available on the server. So based upon this the architecture and the use of the Postgres skill software, the architecture is divided into three parts. So the PostgreSQL architecture is divided into three parts. The first one is general architecture. Next one is uh, memory-based architecture. And the other one is process-based architecture. So these are the three different architectures on which PostgreSQL will be running. So this is for this session.